Fear and ignorance leads to tyranny. No doubt about it. Fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. Fear is indeed universal, but there are those who excel in fear-mongering in order to push their agendas. Politicians and the media excel in this, and politicians and the media and those who are running the show, the Jesuits, are all connected. They need us to be living in fear. They need us to believe that a deadly virus is going to take us out. They need us to believe in terrorism. They need us to believe that there are evil in the world that is going to crush us, when indeed they are the evil. Fear, false evidence appearing real. It's all in the mind, fear. Is all in the mind. It's not even real. It's the concept of your imagination. Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less. Marie Curie. Fantastic quote. Instead of living in fear, let's start questioning why we're living in fear, what we can do to prevent that. Instead of just accepting it, we need to understand what we're scared of, why we're scared of it, what we can do to change that. Fear is an idea, crippling experience, crushing success, stalling inhibitor, inflicted only by yourself. There will be those that try to fearmonger you, that try to make you feel afraid, that try to limit you. At the end of the day, it comes down to you, whether you allow fear to cripple you or whether you allow fear to push you to become a better and stronger person. Fear is an illusion that prevents critical thinking and progress. Absolutely. Fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. That is near insanity. Do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice. Once again, absolutely, absolutely. We allow ourselves to be afraid of things that haven't even happened yet. We think about the possibilities of what might happen. We prevent ourselves from doing things, from saying things, from taking action, because we're living in fear. But it's an illusion. He who has overcome his fears will truly be free. Aristotle. Completely agree with him. Completely agree with him. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. We will all experience fear in our life. Absolutely. However, it's how you handle that, how you overcome that, whether you let it cripple you, you overcome it and you conquer that fear. That's down to you. Fear defeats more people than any other one thing in the world. Again, couldn't agree more. No power so effectually robs the mind of all its powers of acting and reasoning as fear. This is why a lot of people don't think straight. They don't use their critical thinking skills or logic because they're in fear. They're in fear. The media, they're incredible at that. 90% of the media is installing fear of what may happen. If we don't do this, if we don't do that, this is going to happen. It's on us to make that change. No. They're trying to scare us with climate change, this virus, there's people cheering in the streets. Yay, we've got a vaccine, 90% success rate. Look into them. Look into vaccines. You should not be dancing in the street, especially the one that they're looking to give everybody, a global one. where Bill Gates believes the whole world needs to be vaccinated before we get back to normal. Who is that guy, anyway? College dropout. He's not a scientist. He's not a health expert. Claims to be a philanthropist, where he gives all his money to charity, yet he gets richer every single year. We don't listen to these people, guys. Let's stop listening to the government who tell us how to act, how to feel, how to behave, what's right, what's wrong. All these fact-checker websites telling us how to live our lives. Oh, this didn't happen. Oh, this was taken out of context. Oh, this was slightly correct, but not completely. Be quiet. I've had them deny things. I've had fact-checkers deny things that I've witnessed. Interviews, I've witnessed them. But no, all they want us to read about is things that are going to install fear into us. Ignorance is the parent of fear. When you become aware of how the world works and the social construct and how that is just an illusion, you're not scared anymore. You're not scared of what may happen. You use your common sense. You see through the headlines, the same headlines that repeat and repeat, the same people writing these headlines, the same media broadcasts reporting them. Same stuff all the time. Terrorism, war on terror, virus, deadly virus. The economy is going to collapse, yeah, because they decide upon that. These people, the Jesuits I like to call them, who run the show, they basically create a problem, find a solution, and profit from it. Create a problem, provide a solution, and profit from it. One rule for them all, one fear to find them, one fear to bring them all is one way to blind them. We hear the term, oh, you're so blind, you don't see what's going on. Most people see the word blind and think a person who can't see. Physical sense of not seeing. However, for me, a blind person is not seeing the truth that's right in front of them. Not seeing how corrupt politicians are. Not seeing how they just announce Biden to be the president or president-elect, and then a few days after, the vaccine suddenly miraculously appeared. How there's people dancing in the streets because Biden is announced president-elect, but there's no talk of people not wearing masks or COVID. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. The protests, no problem if you're not wearing a mask. Because we're following their agenda. They want a civil war. Okay? They want a civil war to happen because that creates separation again. It creates violence. It creates conflict. It creates confusion. It creates divide. They master that through wars all the time. And again, they profit from it. Fear can spread like wildfire due to the global reach of modern media. Fear contagion spreads faster than ever, and this is known as fear-mongering. Fear-mongering is the spreading of frightening and exaggerated rumors of an impending danger to purposely arouse fear in order to manipulate the public. They're not doing it to protect us, they purposely do it to arouse fear. Stop watching the BBC. Stop watching CNN or Fox News. Laws and fines created by governments also create fear. These laws that get passed, who passes them? So a lot of the time the people who create these laws break them and get away with them. The laws don't apply to them. Laws are just to control us. Yes, people should be punished for certain actions, absolutely. For example, if you leave your house and not wear a mask and you get fined $500 when you're only making $300 a week, is that not a person's right to not wearing a mask? Is their health? If the other people are wearing them, what's the problem? Are they not protected? Let's wake up to this. We must come face to face with our fear of the unknown and replace that fear with curiosity and action in order to conquer it. Many people, if you're watching this video, deep down you're aware of corruption within governments and the media, yet continue to put your blind faith in both of them. Or at least acknowledge what they're saying or respect what they're saying. That needs to change. They're all puppets. There's a difference between knowing the route of the path and walking the path. My aim, there's not much I can do, to be honest. I can spread my opinion. I cannot force my opinion on others at all. Whatever you believe is your right. However, when you look into all of this and how the system works and how politics works and how the government works, it's so corrupt. Why your vote, when people are voting, it doesn't mean anything. It's predetermined. They are selected, not elected. It's to give us a feeling that we have a voice, that we have a say. If you cannot see through the presidential election facade right now, recounts, it's fraudulent. Don't get wrapped up in it. Don't choose Trump over Biden or Kamala Harris or Obama. I wish we had Obama. No, they're all puppets. Okay? The whole setup is a joke. Let me control the media and I will turn any nation into a herd of pigs. Nazi propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels turned words into a weapon of mass destruction. Words are incredibly powerful, as are numbers. But right now, they're limiting what people can say, aren't they? Censoring what we can say, unless it goes along with the mainstream media narrative. Anybody who goes against it is a conspiracy theorist or crazy, or they just basically get blocked. They can't share what they want to share with other people because it's installing hate and fear, the thing that they do every single day on the news. But that doesn't get cancelled, does it? He's also known for saying, if you repeat a lie often enough, it becomes a truth. And I agree with that. So when they keep repeating lie after lie and statistic and lie and this and that, you eventually believe it because you see it everywhere. It's on every news outlet, but all the news outlets are owned by the same people. But it's on the news, it's on social media, it's here, it's there, it's everywhere. And that's evidence for people. No, it's not evidence. That's just what they're putting out. Just like watching a movie. Just because you watch a movie and everybody's watching it doesn't mean that movie is real at all. Although a lot of movies are based off real life events, or they foreshadow future events. Internet media, everywhere, the truth gets hid. The lies are presented as the truth. Where's your evidence? Where's your proof? Where's your evidence? Where's your proof? That's all you get. And where am I going to get my evidence from? CNN? Fox News? Experts who've been paid off? Experts from secret societies that have been paid off? I'm not going to censor myself to comfort your ignorance. I am not the person who's going to go silent with what's going on in the world right now. Just because I'm scared of upsetting somebody. This political correctness. You can't say that. You can't say that about somebody. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Stop me. Try and stop me. The media tells you who to love, who to hate, who to be afraid of, who to trust, what to think, and what not to think. Free your mind from mental slavery. Whether you believe this or not, it's happening. Media manipulation at its finest. Stop watching the TV, especially the news. Okay? I'm not saying all media is doing this, but the majority now is definitely manipulating the way we see things. Negative feelings, fear shapes our brains, and once that fear is locked away in there, it's extremely difficult for it to leave. And there's no doubt in my mind that it's easier to control a person who is in fear than a person who is not. It is super easy to control the person who is in fear. But somebody who is free of that fear, way, way harder to control. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Fear can be seen for me in two ways. Forget everything and run, which the majority of us do. We forget everything and run. We want to be comfy. We want to be comfortable. Or face everything and rise. See everything for what it is. See through the illusion. Accept that we've been programmed. Accept that we've been living in a fictional fantasy world that has been put together by a group of people who continue to get more and more powerful. I hear this saying all the time. Just deal with it. Just accept it. Everyone else does. What makes you different? What makes me different is that I question the narrative of all these events that happen. I question all of it. But most people don't. It's one thing at a time, one event, they move on to the next, to the next. As long as it doesn't directly affect them, they don't care what's going on in Syria. They don't care about the US election if it doesn't affect them. They don't care about corruption if it doesn't affect them. They don't care about natural disasters or weather manipulation if it doesn't affect them. We need to see this as a global crisis, not climate change that they've been raving on about since Al Gore, again, to make us feel guilty for what's going on in the world. We need to focus on everything in between. What's going on in the Vatican? Look at that, the first Jesuit Pope. Pay attention to things that he's saying and doing. Pay attention to it. Caution. The media is not a reflection of reality. Caution. The media is not a reflection of reality. It's not. It's not real. So when you get in your facts and evidence from the media and saying, well, look, this guy said that, this professor from MIT, this professor from Harvard said it, so it must be correct. He's wearing a suit. He's wearing glasses. He looks intelligent. It has to be real. No. Paid puppets. He who controls the media controls the minds of the public. That is perfect. Weapons of mass deception. NBC, ABC, Fox News, CNN, BBC. The list goes on and on and on. Guys, you need to understand this. Politics is a show. Professional sports is a show. They're all scripted. Okay, and I will eventually prove that. The whole social construct, society, all of that social construct, social identity, all a figment of our imagination that's being pushed upon us. So many things like religion and borders creating divide, separation. We need to be united. We're all one. We really are, but we've been slaves to a system, refuse to accept it, especially when we're comfortable. Like I said, we have our house, we have our car, we get food on the table. We go on our holiday. Yay, a vaccine's coming. I'm going to go to Marbella for 2 weeks. Woo! Okay. Come on. And if you don't get a vaccine, what happens? They limit your travel. You're not allowed into certain establishments. Probably what's going to happen. And who are we allowing to make that decision? Tiny percent of the world. No. If I don't want a vaccine, I shouldn't have to have one. Especially if what? For this virus where you have a deadly virus that you have to get tested to check if you have it? Yeah. Come on. Political correctness is the inability to state certain truths because they may offend certain people. I feel sorry for comedians now. Get them on stage. What can they even talk about? Anything offends people now. Anything. Political correctness is to silence people. It's to censor people. It's to muzzle people, just like the mask they're making us wear. Truth, the new hate speech. I completely agree with this. Again, if you go against the mainstream, you're basically pushing propaganda. Political correctness is destroying the very fabric of society. Never before in history have people been so afraid to stand up against absurdity for fear of being labeled a racist, a homophobe, or a bigot. Get rid of political correctness. Let's get people talking again. We need to talk. We need to communicate. But again, they're limiting us. They're limiting us. They're telling us you can't go to protests, but you're allowed to be in the streets to celebrate a politician's win. You can protest Black Lives Matter, the thing that they push because they want a civil war. But if you're out on the street pushing truth about what's really going on, you get arrested. These corrupt laws that get put in place to keep the truth hidden. So, if we lie to the government, it's a felony. But if they lie to us, it's politics. How many times have politicians lied to us? lied to us, blatant lies, been proven to be blatant lies. Why are they not getting arrested? For fraud, for tax evasion, all this sort of stuff. But no, that doesn't get removed from YouTube. Nothing happens there. Fact checkers will protect them. Political correctness is a weapon used to silence people who tell the truth. Political correctness is tyranny with manners. That's what it is. It's PC culture. People getting offended so easily. You can't speak out anymore. You can't question anything anymore without people getting offended. There's very few people in this world now who you can sit down and have a conversation with who are open to people's opinions and ideas without them getting upset. There is no illusion greater than fear. Living is easy with eyes closed. Absolutely. Keep your head down, fella. Everything will be good. Just keep your head down. It'll all work itself out. No, it won't. No, it won't. Only when there's a universal revolution in a positive way, because for me, revolutions in the past are, again, to create this big divide and war, and they put it down as a revolution. It creates conflict and anger and frustration. But opening your eyes, as you called it, opening your eyes and seeing what's going on, paying attention to what's going on, not just absorbing information without actually processing it. Paying attention to contradictory information. Do this, don't do that. Stay in, stay out, do this, do that, do that, do this, do that. Let's change every single day. We'll do the hokey cokey and we turn around. No. No, 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 no. No. It's ridiculous. We have all heard of this expression, ignorance is bliss. But is it? Yeah, there's certain things in life you probably don't want to know about, but I believe that the truth, however difficult it is, we should not ignore it, just because it may hurt us. But again, you have to overcome that pain. That's what makes people stronger. The most violent element in society is ignorance. I completely agree. I completely agree that the most violent element in society is ignorance. We are a brainwashed generation. We've grown up with television, iPads, social media, newspapers, all that stuff, where we take in the information. A lot of the time we take it as fact. We don't know any different. Our free thinking goes. And if we're all watching the same thing, you're going to get the majority of people thinking the same thing. They'll tell us war on terror, and then they'll basically go and terrorize other nations. For what? Because they'll find somebody like Saddam Hussein or Bin Laden, one person, and then they'll destroy a whole nation and justify it. And they'll have people on the news saying, yeah, I completely believe we should do this. Let's go. Let's unite. Let's take down this nations who are terrorizing our beautiful country. No, it's the other way around, to get resources, to get control, to set up banking systems there, to take the gold, to take the oil. And we support it. Or people in the past have supported it. If you believe 9/11 was Osama bin Laden trained some guys from Afghanistan to get to the US, somehow get through security perfectly, smash into the Twin Towers, you believe that, then there's no hope. But when you think, wait, that didn't happen, so what actually happened? Why did it happen? Who gained from that tragedy? I could talk to you for 10 hours about that, but I'm not going to. But come on, guys. The most secure country in the world, and they allow planes in from people from Afghanistan to perfectly execute knocking down the Twin Towers. On 9/11, again, I could do a video on that whole number, 9/11. Ignorance is not bliss, it is the kiss of death. Completely true. Fear always springs from ignorance. It's all connected, fear, ignorance. And it eventually leads to tyranny. Now what's going on? Getting told what to say, what to believe, what we can publish. Again, all these books and these journals that get published. as the truth, as the academic scriptures. They're the truth. No, they're not. The truth is inside of you. You've got to find it within. You're not going to find it on the internet. You're not going to find it in a book. You're going to find it from your spirit, from within you, the truth. Fear, we're so scared of dying, we're so scared of not paying our bills, we're so scared of losing our job, we're so scared of a deadly virus, so scared of upsetting people now. Fear, 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 fear factor. Voting is not a right, it is a method used to determine which politician was most able to brainwash you. Again, when you're going left and right, you never go straight forward. I'm a lefty, I'm a righty, I'm red, I'm Republican, I'm blue, I'm Democrat. Guys, look who we're voting for. Look at the state of them. Look at the history. Look at the proven lies, the proven corruption, the proven scandals. Yet people still, I'm Trump, I'm Biden. Woo, it's finally going to change for the better. No, it's not. If we're trusting these people to basically improve our countries and our economy, then we're absolutely pathetic, a lot of us. The vote means nothing, as I said. They're selected, not elected. They're doing the work of other people who are way higher, who hide in the background. Tyranny. All tyranny needs to gain a foothold is for people of good conscience to remain silent. The majority of the people in this world are good people, they're nice people, they want to help people. However, we constantly remain silent, again, due to fear. Fear of expressing what we truly believe. Because we might lose a few friends, our reputation might get affected, we might be seen as the crazy one, we might get into trouble. I hope one day in my lifetime that we all unite consciously and do not remain silent, that we speak up. Soon enough, guys, they're going to completely silence us. Look what goes on in China. If you question anything about the government, you get fined. You can get arrested as well. Post anything on social media. Free thinking has gone. When the people fear the government, there is tyranny. When the government fears the people, there is liberty. Okay, yeah, they're supposed to be afraid of us. Well, not afraid, I don't like that word. They should be working for us, not us working for them. But again, the government is just an illusion right now. They don't want to help the public at all. They'll always have excuses. Before getting elected, they'll have amazing speeches of how they're going to basically improve everything. And when it comes to it, it's just the same lies repeated, and no action is taken. Of all tyrannies, a tyranny sincerely exercised for the good of its victims may be the most oppressive. That's what they're doing. Stay home, stay safe, close down your business, help others, wear a mask to help others. It will all get better, we just need to be patient. No, this is what they do. They'll tell us that we need to do this in order to help other people, when really all we're doing is helping the global elite. That's who we're helping here, and we're helping to basically destroy our human rights. We are doing that to ourselves. Okay, we're allowing it. These tyrannies don't exist without slaves. It's like if you're talking about Hitler, the whole World War wouldn't have happened if the majority of the Germans didn't believe every word he said about the Jews being evil. But they fell for it because he was a great speaker. He motivated people to believe him. And look what happened there. All tyrannies rule through fraud and force, but once the fraud is exposed, they must rely exclusively on force. Yeah, everything they do is fraudulent. They get away with it, and we allow them to get away with it. And when we start revealing the truths, what they're going to do, they're going to start hurting us physically. But who cares about that? Okay, we might need to go through that pain. If we continue to ignore them, it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. Completely agree with Einstein there. To be honest with you, I think he was probably a Jesuit. Some of his quotes are good, though. Facts. The word facts, I think it's a dangerous word. Get your facts straight. Where's your facts? Where's your facts? Again, you can go on the fact checker websites and they'll tell you something's a fact, which is blatantly fiction. Governments don't want a population capable of critical thinking. They want obedient workers, people just smart enough to run the machines and just dumb enough to passively accept their situation. That's the majority of the middle class. Make enough money to pay the bills, pay enough money to have basic health care, enough money to put clothes on their body, to look after their kids, to put food on the table, all that stuff, which is good. To be able to do all those things is extremely great. But they don't want a nation or a universe thinking outside of the box. Because then their whole magic trick disappears. If you watch a magician and you know the secrets of his trick, it's not entertaining, is it? You don't play along with it. You're like, okay, mate, I know what you're doing. Okay, this is boring. I'm not accepting that. Off I go. However, if you go there and they have this trick and this illusion, well, how did he do that? Whoa, wow, that's interesting. That's intriguing. That's amazing. I'll go along with it. Where's your proof? I need evidence. Why should I listen to you? You don't even have a degree. The fact-checking websites said it didn't happen, so it didn't happen. Experts said so. You're not an expert. They're a joke, fact-checking websites. Fact-checking is the process of verifying information in non-fiction and fictional. But for me, they are just another tool to deny the truth. It seems unfortunate that reporting the truth in journalism these days no longer exists. I think the real journalists have gone. They've lost their job. Okay, again, the puppets have come in, will do anything to get a paycheck, and they'll report what they get told to report. Truth is becoming extremely difficult to acquire, and more people are becoming apprehensive about speaking up. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Fear's an illusion, guys. It's an illusion. We need to stand up to these corrupt governments and agencies and people and the Jesuits and the whole system, okay? Or it's just going to get worse. It is just going to get worse. But we can do it if we unite and we accept that we're being programmed, that we accept that we're living in a world that is upside down, that is backwards, that we are living in a Truman Show. We can all accept that. We will come together. We will take down the Jesuits, this global order, this new world order that they want, this one world government that they're going to eventually lead to, the surveillance, telling us what to think, what to feel, how to believe, what to eat, what not to eat, who to listen to, who not to listen to, celebrity culture, all of that. We need to just wipe the slate clean. And that needs to start now.